Hello, welcome to our community. My name is Trent Lewis. We're here at the Steuben County Sheriff's Office with our sheriff, Tim Troyer. And Tim and I will be discussing some new communications that the Sheriff's Office has been utilizing here since Tim has taken office. Tim, thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Appreciate the opportunity.
Now, Tim, you've been utilizing a lot of new technology to get information out. Could you tell us about your new website and your Facebook page?
We have. Since I've been sheriff, we started out initially with the use of Facebook and Facebook technology, and it's proven to be a very effective tool. It's a push form of communication, of course, to getting our message out to the community in many different formats, from news releases to community alerts to weather-related, school closings, things of that nature. We use it for just simple things within the department or happenings within the department that we want to let the community be aware of. And it's been very effective. I know I think we're well over 1,000 users at this point that have signed up on the like in the Facebook account. And as a result, our postings will come directly to those that have Facebook accounts on their walls.
So a lot of that is information. It could come with traffic or
it can. What makes it very unique is we started out with just a few of us on the administration that did the actual postings, and that's evolved now to all of the supervisory staff within the Sheriff's Department, all the sergeants, detectives, corporals that have management capability within the department have access to do postings on the Facebook page. And what makes that unique is they can actually do that directly from their patrol cars. They have laptops with air cards that access our internal data systems in here for case reports and things, and they can also access the internet and reach out into the Facebook community. And should they be at an accident scene or a location, that communication can be instant from the patrol car to the users that see that.
Tim, also you got a new website. Could you talk about that, please?
We do. We just recently launched a couple of new systems, but the new website was something that we have been looking at for some time. And in researching that, obviously domain name and hosting was a hurdle that we needed to get over, and then some templates that we wanted to come up with. But what we developed internally was a more modernized, more user-friendly website that not only gets information out to what the department is and what our demographics are, but more importantly, other important messages that can be received directly on the website by the unique visitor. It could be something as simple as a family member that has another family member that's been arrested or is incarcerated and has not been through the system before and don't understand visitation with inmates, doesn't understand how to put money on an inmate's commissary, how to bond out an inmate, things of that nature. And that information is right there at their fingertips. Car crash accident victims and things of that nature, how to get crash reports, how to get case reports for insurance purposes and different things. And it's very simple, it's very easy to use. There's not a lot of graphics on it that will slow down systems. It's designed for the information to get it out to the user and the people that visit that site quickly. The website is going to constantly be updated also, and one of the other tools that we're going to use with that is kind of like a calendar. I have people within the department, as an example, that are developing programs. We have one developed for identity theft. We have one developed for how to deal with aggressive solicitors. We have our drug programs that are put on not only by myself but one of the other investigators. A crash scene program that educates the public on what happens at a crash scene and why it takes so long for roads sometimes to be opened or closed. And those programs are going to be put out throughout the community. RAD is another good example, our rape aggression defense program for women and for children. Those programs, when we put those on in different areas of the community, will be posted on that website. And you can easily go onto the website. You can see where and when that's going to happen, when it's going to occur. You can also visit the website to have contact information for the detectives and the deputies that are actually doing these programs. So if you belong to a service organization or a community-based or a faith-based organization and you'd like to have this program to your group, you can go direct with the instructor that's going to be teaching it and look at their calendar. And then when they schedule that program with you, they will post that on the website so that you can see that. We also have been using it for child safety and adult safety ID programs that we're doing throughout the community. If we're going to be at a specific location with our child safety ID systems, that's also posted on the main page of the website under announcements, and you can see dates, times, and locations of where that service is going to be available. So a wide range of tools that are there for the community to see and to understand where we are and what we're doing, and right at your fingertips.
So was that one of the reasons why you wanted to use Facebook and use some of the social networking?
It was. I think that one of the views that I had of the office when I took office as sheriff is the modernization of the department. Technology has changed. We're seeing this with 911 systems, with landline use. A lot of people are migrating away from landline use. They're going to cell phone technology. Email is becoming extremely popular. In a lot of cases, businesses are dependent upon it. The use of websites and in both push and pull forms of communication. And with the electronic age upon us, the department, in my opinion, needed to modernize. And so we looked at a different range of things that we could do to streamline that and to help us to build that partnership with the community that we serve.
And you said, and that helped you, and we talked off camera about what happened at Wells Fargo this past year.
It did. The Wells Fargo, the armed robbery that occurred here in Angola, multiple agencies are responding to that. And my response to it with the detectives from Angola City were in trying to assist them in getting any information out to the community. I mean, one of the things we've learned in law enforcement is that we're very limited with our number of eyes and ears. And if we can enlist the help of the community, we have a lot more eyes and ears out there that can actually help us and get us in the right direction for making successful apprehensions and safe apprehensions. And in that particular case, I worked very closely with the detective from Angola. We'd received some still photos and some video footage from nearby retailers, and were able to take that footage and that information and the car description and put it out to mainstream media. We put it out on our Facebook as well, and alerted the community to what it was we were looking for. And within a short period of time, an apprehension was made, and then the investigation continued from there. And we ultimately led to the successful completion of that case with apprehensions all the way around, and the return of the stolen money.
Awesome. Well, let's take a quick break. We're going to talk more with Sheriff Tim Troyer when we come right back. Welcome back. We're back at the Steuben County Sheriff's Office with Sheriff Tim Troyer, and wanted to let you know that it's kind of a monthly show that we're starting up. We're going to range all kinds of different topics. We'll be getting into all kinds of different things, from sex registry and what other kinds of topics we might be coming.
There's several different ones we can talk about. As I mentioned earlier, we have the RAD program that's not only for women, but it's also for children, and that program is going to be coming to the community this summer. RAD is already in full swing. I do have other drug programs that have been put together, not only by myself, but also by one of the other detectives. He also has put together a program for identity theft and how to deal with aggressive solicitors. It's a complaint we receive periodically here at the office for dealing with aggressive solicitors that are salesmen, and they come to the door in teams of people, and what you can do to protect yourself, and how to know that that particular sales is legitimate and it's not a ruse in an effort to commit other crimes against you. We also have a program for accident investigation, kind of a short, brief program that helps to educate people on the use of our techniques and our abilities out in the field with investigating crashes, and why the roads are closed down and why they're opened up in one lane, and why it takes so long sometimes for the deputies to complete that. The Registered Sex Offender Registry is another big part and a big tool that the Sheriff's Office has brought up into compliance here recently through aggressive work by the detectives, and there is a program developed on educating the community on registered sex offenders and how to search that system and alert yourself to people that move into your neighborhood and into your area that are registered sex offenders that you need to be alerted to. And that program is a good tool, and it also ties hand in hand with a program for the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. I've put together a program on child abduction and child safety. And it's a good program for parents to come see in regard to, should we encounter that unimaginable event of a child abduction, especially a stranger abduction in our community. And, different things that parents should be aware of, like online victimization, how predators prey upon children through online, and the tools that they use, and how they get into some of the chats and the websites and the chat sites that we as parents believe are safe and our kids are safe, but yet the predators have learned techniques around that. It's no longer the day of just simply walking down the street and somebody trying to prey upon our children. They're doing it in many different formats and many different manners now, and it's important that parents are aware of that and see that. So these programs are all geared toward that, and I think there'll be segments of that coming up on this show.
Great, and we can't wait to show those on TV, and then if you can't make those programs, then we'll have it available on TV and online as well. One of the other programs that the Sheriff's Department has available is Vine. It's a victim information notification every day. Tim, can you describe what Vine is to the folks else?
Vine is a very unique tool that we in law enforcement use, and basically, as you said, victim information and notification every day, and it puts some power back into the hands of the victim on information. Should a member of the community become a victim of a crime, a burglary as an example, or a crime against them as a person, maybe they've been stalked, or there is a restraining order, a protective order in place, and the suspect has been arrested and is incarcerated here in the Sheriff's Department or in the jail. If that's the case, victims of those crimes can actually go onto the Vine website, or they can actually call the toll-free number, and they can sign up for notification services back to them. Now, what that means to you is that in the event that the inmate is moved, if that inmate is transferred to another facility, if the inmate dies, if the inmate is released, you will know within a 15-minute window of that event occurring, and in a lot of cases it's before the inmate is actually released. There's a server attached to our database system that queries every 15 minutes our system, and what it's doing is tracking offenders, so that if an offender is locked up in our jail and you're a victim of that crime, you're going to know when that suspect is released, you're going to know when that suspect is moved from this facility. And it's a nice tool, it's comforting to know, and it's also streamlined the way we notify victims in our community. In the past, you would sign a form in the field, and when a deputy was there, and you would sign a form, and that particular form would then be turned over to the jail. And when the inmate was released, or before the inmate was released, that form got put back into the patrol deputy's hands, and then they would reach out to the victims and try to locate them in an effort to notify of this release or of this movement of this particular inmate. And with that system, there are flaws, and that flaw, the biggest flaw is locating the victim. Sometimes it's not easy. Work schedules and places that people work and move about makes it sometimes difficult to get that message to you. And again, with modernization of the office, and we're dealing with cell phone technology especially, you can actually get these alerts directly on your cell phone and a text message sent directly to you. You can get it sent to you via email, or it will continue to call your landline. If you are homebound and you're at home and you want that notification to come directly to your phone, it will call your telephone every 15 minutes until you enter in a passcode that you've entered. And the whole point of that is to make certain that you receive that notification. So you have some tools available to you there to set the parameters for how you would like to be notified. But the important thing here is for victims of crimes, all kinds of crimes, when the inmate or the suspect is arrested and incarcerated in this jail, you have available to you the access of that system to be notified of any movement of that particular inmate.
Wow, that's awesome, especially if you're involved in
Yes, yes.
in one of these situations.
Domestic violence is a big one that can come from this. We have domestic partners that wind up, they ultimately get incarcerated. Child abuse, child sex crimes, things of that nature, where other family members are concerned about the possibility of the release if that inmate makes bond, if that particular offender is released on an OR type thing or on its own recognizance based on the courts, or just simply released, or the charges are dropped and they walk out the door. The victims of these particular crimes or the caretakers have the right to know that that's happened, and this is a tool it's available right at your fingertips. I like to point out it is a program that was brought to us through the Indiana Sheriff's Association, and as with our website, as with our Facebook, Vine is free. It's free not only to the department or the office, the sheriff's office, it's also free to the community to use.
Now, Tim, how quickly does it work?
It can be instant, and as I said earlier with Vine, that particular system, it's a computer system attached to ours for the sole purpose of tracking these offenders. Any of the offenders in the jail, you can sign up for any of them. And what will happen when you go onto those websites or you call, you'll give the specifics of Steuben County Jail, and when that inmate is in the process of being bonded out, confinement staff then will trigger the release of the inmate in our system. Within 15 minutes of that happening, and it could be less than that depending on the time lapse of the query of that particular server, it could be instant. But confinement staff will trigger that right away in the release process. And the release process in the jail sometimes can take 15 minutes, it can take 30 minutes, and in some cases, depending on how much is going on in the jail, how many intake and how many outtake are outgoing or occurring at one time, it could actually extend out to a good 30, 45 minutes. And if confinement triggers that right away, that will go into the Vine system, and those notifications will go out that inmate is about to be moved or it's about to be released.
Okay. And the other system we talked about is Nixle.
Nixle is a new system that was launched at the same time as the website, and we launched that simultaneously on purpose so that you could actually go to our website and go into Nixle through our website so that you knew that it was safe and that it was secure to do so. Nixle is basically kind of a streamlined reverse 911, and with reverse 911 as an example, that's a system that takes emergency situations that are going on in our community and it puts it out to the public. It's a push form of communication. It alerts the community that this is occurring in our community. Now, what we use Nixle for is a lot like what we use Facebook, and what I noticed with Facebook is it has a window of very unique users and age brackets. And there's a lot of folks out here that don't use Facebook and have no interest in that. And quite honestly, a lot of them in my age bracket are in that category that they use it maybe to read a few things or to look at a few things or don't want to do it at all. Nixle allows us to reach those particular people in our community that don't have that. And even if you do have it, you can still utilize it because it is instant. It allows us to send text messages directly to your phone on alerts that we send out, whether it's an advisory, maybe it's a weather advisory, whether it's just community information about one of our programs, or whether it's an alert because we have a missing child or we have a missing adult that walked away from a facility that has medical issues or a dementia or something along those lines, and we're trying to get more eyes and ears, or maybe even an armed robbery and a crime that's occurred in our community and we're asking the community's help. Wanted subjects, fugitives, things of that nature, violators of the sex offender registry. We put on Facebook, we put out to the local media outlets. Nixle is another tool for that can be instant to the person that signs up. The neat thing about Nixle is you have a lot of controls with it. You can control the text message to your phone, you can control the times of day. If you don't want text messages coming to your phone at 11 o'clock at night to 6 in the morning, you can set that parameter that you don't receive them at those time parameters. You can also set it to come to your email. Now, the interesting part about email with the text message alert is the text messaging, I don't put pictures. When we put a posting on Nixle and we send it out, we don't send pictures on the text alert. And the reason is that some of the providers to the consumers charge money for that. And I don't want that to happen to the consumer. So we want to just simply get the message. Now, with text messaging, we're limited to the number of characters. So all I can do with a text message is give you a brief synopsis of what the alert is and then refer you to either Facebook or your email or to a website. And you'll get a link with each one of those alerts that you'll be able to go to Nixl's website. You can sign up for the email. With the email side of this, you will get the pictures. You'll get a picture of an offender, you get a picture of a vehicle that we're looking for or something along those lines. Any photograph that we would post on Facebook or what would come to your inbox in your email. And if you have email and you have the text message, I certainly encourage you to sign up on Nixl. And you can do that directly through our website, that www.steubensheriff.com. Right on the home page is a Nixl link that'll take you into the sign up area of that, and you can have those alerts coming directly to your cell phone. It's a powerful tool that allows us to get our message out to the community quickly to a lot of different users out there in an effort to help with some of the things that are going on in our community and help inform the people that we serve.
And it's amazing. You can get the information out instantly, as opposed to years past where you were limited. You only use media outlets basically to get information out.
And that was, and in some cases you would hear the breaks, like an Amber Alert or just a emergency response system alert going out in the event that we needed to use that. Local radio, local newspaper, local media outlets are still important, and they're still used. Most of the media I know is signed up on our Facebook. When we send out a Nixl alert or a Facebook alert, they're attached to it as well, so they're seeing that and they're capturing it, and they're also posting it. So it's a multiple prong approach to getting important information out to the community quickly.
And you talked about how much that's changed since you've been here.
It's changed a lot.
When you're doing handwritten reports, and
it has changed. When I first became a deputy, we did our case reports and our crash reports were all done in hand format. Everything was handwritten, and it was turned in to a front office that was cycled through. And today, almost everything is streamlined in the electronic age. We used to release news media releases through the sheriff's office, was always done by fax, or we would simply do the release and set it in the front office, and the media would have to come to us and look at those reports, write down what they wanted or what they thought was important to report on, and then it went out to the community. And it was very slow. So when we have crime occurring in our community, or we have weather-related events occurring or emergency events occurring in our community, that we need to get that alert out quickly, we've been able to streamline that to assist mainstream media. We don't send any fax releases out anymore. All media is attached to email, and it's instant. It goes out with Facebook, it goes out with Nixl, and it goes to the media virtually at the same time. And so they're getting that. They're picking up on it. They're also reporting on it relatively quickly. And I think as a result, you're seeing a lot more effective response to the things that are occurring and the problems within our community.
Well, Tim, we'll wrap up when we come right back. We're going to take a quick break, and then we'll come right back with Sheriff Tim Troyer. Thanks. Thank you for watching. We're talking with Sheriff Tim Troyer about technology and how the Sheriff's Office is utilizing that. And Tim, you were telling us that this website that actually you created, and it's not a county or website at all, and it's coming out of your own pocket. Is that true?
It is. I knew that initially taking office that we were going to probably launch our own website. And I was looking for something very user-friendly. I have staff that certainly knows how to do this and put it together very easily. We're blessed with people that have that ability here. And so initially I purchased the domain myself out of the gate, and shortly thereafter we were doing a lot of research on hosting and who could host it, and the cost was very, very minimal, and I felt that it would be easy for me to just go ahead and take care of that instead of trying to figure out how to pay for that out of line items and different things through the taxpayers. budget, and it was important that the sheriff's office got the message out and had it available. The other neat thing about the website, the other very unique thing about it that I had to have with a part of this, and it took us a little while to develop, is I had to have people that could easily put content on it. Because we do have a lot of changing information that's out there and different programs that are coming up. And I had to have people that, in the past, you had to have that specific computer language training that you knew how to do it, and it always took one person, and it can become such a burden to one individual. And you know, we have IT, we have people who can do that, but they're also utilized in more important areas. And I was in hopes that the sheriff's office could set up a system very similar to what we do with Nixle, what we do with Facebook, that our management staff could actually go onto the website and onto the host server and post and take down content that was not relevant anymore, and keep things modern, keep things current and up to date. And that was very important to us. And we were able to accomplish that, and we're very pleased to have this out to the community and encourage everybody to take advantage of it.
And also, you talked about just the safety feature of those three things: keeping questionable content off of your Facebook, and then.
Yeah, we monitor the Facebook account, all the time. We've got all the staff looking at that all the time, and we don't want to make it a debate site. It's not about being a debate or anything like that. It's about a push form of communication, getting messages out, and then people can come back on it and make comments on it. And as long as those comments are appropriate, they're not vulgar, they're not using bad language. Profanity, things of that nature. Generally, there's usually a warning given, or we'll remove that content. But we've had a couple of users that have abused that, and we've had to block the user from being on that, because that's not the intent of this Facebook account. It's to get the message out to the public, let them comment appropriately on that particular content that goes out. That's certainly okay by us. But when it gets vulgar, or it gets to where we've got children that are using Facebook, we've got children that are making access to that, teenagers, and some of that, they probably shouldn't, it wouldn't be appropriate for them to see that. With Nixle, as an example, we had to go through a period of security clearances to just get our account as a sheriff's office to reach out, and the whole purpose of that is safe and secure. We want to make sure that we don't get people to hack into that system, and that message that you receive, you're confident in knowing that it is coming from your sheriff's office. And we've got to keep those security measures in place. As with the website to the taxpayers, Vine, Nixle, all of this is free to the community. The only thing with Vine, depending on your cell phone, or not with Vine as well as Nixle, with your cell phone contract, whatever you have, there may be some text messaging rates that apply. Most people have unlimited. Some people have a short number of text messages they can receive, and obviously if you're within that parameter, then there'd be no additional charge. But you would want to check with your cell phone provider to verify what your rates are should you start to receive these. Of course, email is free. It's not as instant and as readily available to you as a text message. If you're walking around, you're shopping, most people are carrying their cell phones with them all the time, and that message can be given to you instantly with that. But there could be some charges applied, but they would not come from us. It would simply be because of your cell phone provider.
And what's the website again, Tim?
The website is www.steubensheriff.com. We tried to make that as simple as we could. Some of the websites are long in duration and easy to remember. All you have to remember is steubensheriff.com. We have links to Vine, we have links to Nixle, we have links to Facebook right on that website, and it's right on the home page. There's also some demographics on there that discuss some things of the department. The annual statistic report's on there. If you want to see statistically what's happening in your jail, what's happening in your sheriff's department, what's happening in your community with your sheriff's department, I encourage you to go on and look at that. I think you'll be surprised at what's been happening and what happens and what your deputies respond to out here in the community and what your confinement officers deal with here in the jail.
Now go to that website, check it out, like Facebook, and sign up if you needed to with Vine. And Tim, thanks for joining us, and looking forward to more shows in the future.
You're welcome. I am very pleased to have the opportunity to talk to you and to have this program out to the community and giving a completely different insight on what their sheriff's department is doing and how we're working together with the community.
And that's how you want it. You want it. You
Exactly
said
how-
ours.
That's exactly how we wanted it. I've said this all along. I'm going to continue to say it. This sheriff's office does not belong to me. Does not belong to any one individual that works in this agency. It belongs to the community we serve, and I am simply leading it through them and through you. And this is your sheriff's department, and this is an opportunity. This program, I am very happy to see this come out, and thank you very much, Trent, for putting this format out to the viewers in our community to be a part of that partnership that I so heavily talked about in the past. We have to have it in order to be effective. We can't continue to respond, and by having a partnership with the community we serve, it allows this office to be proactive in the community. It allows the community to be proactive with us. In that area of proactiveness, therein lies the difference in what we can make together in our community.
All right. Thanks, Tim.
Thank you.
See you next time. Thanks for watching, everyone.